Chapters 8, Section 1 and 2.
Hey!
Where's the other script? I mean, paper with information.
It's okay, I got an extra one right here.
Alright, let's get started with Section 1, shall we?
The Han Dynasty fell in
220!
and China fell into chaos. China went through disorder and civil war.
In
581 BC!
Yes, in 581 BC, the Sui dynasty came and unified China.
Sui Yongdi, who was the second emperor of the dynasty, completed the Grand Canal.
The Grand Canal linked the Huanghe River and the Yangtze River.
Sui Yongdi was a cruel leader which caused a rebellion.
Unfortunately for Sui Yongdi, when the rebellion hit, he was murdered.
The new dynasty, called the Tang Dynasty, lasted from about 618 to
907!
they restored the civil service examination.
They also tried to make a more stable economy by giving land to peasants.
Go.
The Tangs also broke up the power of the owners of the larger states.
The Tang Dynasty brought peace to northwestern China.
China came to be known as the greatest power in East Asia. Like the Han, the Tang Dynasty dug their own grave.
One of the emperors of the Tang Dynasty, Tang Si Huangzong, led a bloody revolt.
The army demanded that someone be held accountable for the war and strife in China.
For this reason, the emperor suggested his true love to hang herself in a tree.
How sad.
During the
8th century!
8th century, the Tang Dynasty weakened and fell victim to rebellion. The Tang Dynasty couldn't hold back the rebellions even with hired warriors.
In
960!
In 960, the Song Dynasty came to power. They ruled through prosperity and achievements, but still faced problems.
Because of threats, the Sung rulers moved the imperial court to Hangzhou.
During the 1200s, Mongols, which are nomadic people from Gobi, overthrew the Sung Dynasty and took control of China and created a new dynasty, the government and economy.
The era of the Sui and Sung dynasty lasted about
700 years!
Lasted about 700 years. During this period, a mature political system was put in place.
China also grew in size and complexity.
China was still a farming society. A lot of peasants became serfs or slaves.
The government worked to weaken power of landowners and help poor peasants get their own land. These changes improved farming and led to the abundance of food.
Technology in China!
The Chinese began to make steel during the Tang Dynasty.
Steel was used to make swords and sickles. Cotton was also introduced.
Gunpowder was invented and used to make explosives and the fire lance.
The fire lance is pretty much a primitive form of a flamethrower.
Trade was revived, and so was the Silk Road.
Society!
The Tang and Sung eras were very prosperous.
Marco Polo, and not the game you play in the pool.
Marco!
Polo!
Marco!
Polo!
Marco!
I'm talking about the actual person, Marco Polo. He was an Italian merchant. He described the city of Hangzhou, saying,
So many pleasures may be found here. One fancies himself to be in paradise.
the rich Chinese had a lot of pleasures.
New entertainment like playing cards and chess came about.
Block printing made new ways to communicate.
The most significant event was the rise of the landed gentry. This group controlled much of the land.
The scholar gentry replaced the old land aristocracy as the political and economic elite of Chinese society.
Few Chinese women had power.
Excluding Wu Zhao, known as emperor, Wu, a woman who just wanted power.
Female children were considered less desirable than male. In times of famine, female infants might be killed if there wasn't enough food to feed the family.
Girls' parents paid a dowry, which was a payment to the girl's husband when she married.
Poor people sold their daughters to wealthy villagers.
Section 2. Remember when the Mongols took over the Sung dynasty? Well, we're going to get into that a little more.
The Mongols were a pastoral people from the region of modern-day Mongolia,
No way.
who were organized loosely into clans.
Temujin gradually unified the Mongols in 1206, Temujin was elected Genghis Khan at the massive meeting somewhere in the Gobi.
Genghis Khan was a strong leader.
From then on, he devoted himself to conquest.
To rule the new Mongol empires, Genghis Khan set up the capital city at Karakorum.
Genghis Khan died in
1227!
The whole empire began to change due to his death.
The once united empire of Genghis Khan was thus split into several separate territories called Khanates.
Each was ruled under one of his sons.
Fun fact! It may be that only the death of Genghis Khan kept the Mongols from attacking Western Europe.
In
1231!
1231, the Mongols attacked Persia and defeated the Abbasids at Baghdad. In
1258! Mongol forces attacked the Sung dynasty in China in the 1260s!
So, Mongol is now in China.
In 1279! Genghis Khan's grandson, Kublai Khan, completed the conquest of the Sung and established the new Chinese dynasty. The Yuan often just called the Mongol dynasty.
the capital is Kublai, which means the city of Khan.
Which later became Beijing.
Under the leadership of the talented Kublai Khan, the Mongol dynasty continued to expand the empire, ranging from the Western Russia to Korea, like in Vietnam. They tried to take over Japanese islands like Java and Sumatra twice but failed.
The Mongols had more success in ruling China.
They adopted the Chinese political system and made use of Chinese bureaucrats.
Culturally, however, the Mongols were quite different from the Chinese and became a separate class with their own laws.
The Khanbalik was a magnificent city.
Marco Polo, who lived in Khanbalik during the reign of Kublai, said that
The streets are so straight and wide that you can see right along from end to end, and from one gate to the other. And up and down the city there are beautiful palaces, and many great and fine hostelries and fine houses in great numbers.
a lot of what Marco Polo said in his stories about China seemed unbelievable to the Europeans who heard them.
Kublai Khan died in
1924.
Like other dynasties, the Mongol dynasty eventually fell victim to problems.
like too much spending on foreign conquest, corruption at court, and growing internal instability.
In 1368. In 1368, Zhu Yu Engzhan, the son of a peasant, put together an army that ended the Mongol dynasty.
Thus setting up a new dynasty, the Ming Dynasty.
Religion and government. Religion and government.
Confucian principles became the basis for Chinese government during the Han Dynasty. By the time of the Sui and Tang Dynasty, Buddhism, Taoism rivaled in influence of Confucianism. During the Sung Dynasty, however, Confucian ideas re-emerged in a new form, but Confucianism was dominant until the early 20th century.
Buddhist monasteries had acquired thousands of acres of land and serfs.
With last came corruption. The government reacted strongly and destroyed the Buddhist temples and forced more than 260,000 monks and nuns to leave. Buddhism no longer received support from the state.
The government believed it was a foreign religion.
Official support went instead to a revived Confucianism from the Sung Dynasty to the end of the dynamic system.
It was different from the Han Dynasty form of Confucianism. This was called Neo-Confucianism, a new doctrine.
The new doctrine served as a Confucian response to Buddhism and Taoism.
Neo-Confucianism teaches that the world is real, not an illusion, and that fulfillment comes not from withdrawal, but from participation in the world.
A golden age in literature and art.
The period between the Tang and Ming dynasties was in many ways a great age of Chinese literature. Art too flourished during this period.
It was poetry, above all, that the Chinese of this time best expressed their literary talents.
Li Bao and Dao Fu were two of the most popular poets during the Tang era. Li Bao's poetry was often about nature. Dao Fu's poems reflected a concern with social injustice and the plight of the poor.
Painting and ceramics.
During the Sung and Mongol dynasties, landscape paintings reached its highest point.
Next to painting, the creative accomplishments was the field of ceramics.
In particular, Tang artisans perfected the making of porcelain, which is a ceramic made of fine clay baked at very high temperature.
As an Arab traveler in 851, that's it! Hold my earrings! I'm gonna get you, dude! Hold I'd like to thank my mom, and
Me too.
Alex's mom, and Taylor's mom.
Taylor!
That darn airplane! Darn you, airplane! Darn you! Darn you, little kids! Darn you!
Scholar Gentry replaced the old land aristocracy as the political and economic elite of Chinese society. Oh, come on, I got it right!
Static electricity! I want the off!
Where?
I'm gonna go down. No, right here! Taylor! Ah! Come back! No, come back here! Come back! Oh, God! I cannot believe it just happened to me.
What?
I got water all in my butt. Oh, my jacket!
I really do play the part of Sheldon now. That's better. I have a caterpillar on my cheek.
I feel like I'm not gonna put that on.
She says if ugly caterpillar. Okay.
Yeah!
Work it, old man! Okay.
I don't like masks.
What big ears you have? What big nose you have? Still.
One eye is bigger than the other.
So you should do like this total like, oh my god.
Yeah, we should. Oh.
Whoa!
I can't see.
Then let's go to Canada.
You know, it would stink if he wasn't there the day that we.
Madre! Oh, Alex, you're in the way. Hi, Madre. Hi. Oh.